Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Julian. I have been on a self-improvement journey for over a year, and today I would like to share my comprehensive guide to training at the gym. To begin with, we'll talk about some terms that you might have to know going into the gym. First, let's talk about reps and sets. A rep is basically how many times you perform an exercise, and a set is a group of reps. So for example, here we have an exercise, the bench press, and this is 12 reps times 60 kilograms, and then this whole like square would then be a set, and then in between in this line it would be a 2 minute to 3 minute rest before the next set. So that's basically what a set and a rep is. Next, we have drop sets. Sets where without taking a break, you go to failure and then lower the weight immediately to go to failure again and then repeat until you're satisfied. So basically you start from the heaviest weight and you go down after you've hit failure, and this basically just kills the muscles so hard. And it's good for a lot of exercises, but most people will find it unnecessary at the beginning at least. Then we got compound exercises. Compound exercises are movements which use a large number of muscles, such as squats, deadlifts, and bench presses. They all use not just one muscle, but multiple muscles, which is why they're good for putting on a lot of muscle mass, at least for beginners. Then you have isolation exercises, which is the opposite. Isolation exercises target one muscle group, and it's good for training like individual muscles, keeping them bigger. For example, if you want to grow bigger biceps, you should do isolation because it's better for the bicep than if you were to do some sort of compound movement which includes bicep, such as pull-ups. And I want to bring to the gym, you want to bring training clothes like Gymshark, Nike, Adidas, and shoes as well, from just any type of training shoes. You want a water bottle, because a water bottle is important for keeping your water, obviously, and you have to stay hydrated when you're at the gym. It's a really important part of the gym, staying hydrated, and it's something a lot of people overlooks. The headset or earbuds is so you can kind of get lost in your own world. You don't really have to worry about other people. You can just sit there, listen to music, or listen to a podcast, or listen to a motivational speech. It depends from person to person. Obviously, I recommend listening to some kind of music, maybe hardstyle or funk or something, because that is really, it actually helps with your like actual like energy and stuff, because music is a really big contributor to how you're feeling. And if you listen to energized music, when you're gonna feel energized, so bring that. Etiquette and norms. Putting weights back after you've used them. I see so many kids that don't put their weights back after they've used them, and nobody likes those. It's just annoying. Not being too loud, so not dropping your heavy equipment, not screaming, not jumping around, just being nice. Don't be afraid to ask if someone's using equipment. Don't be afraid to ask if someone can spot you during a PR or something. Don't be afraid to ask. Most people at the gym are very, very nice people. And then you should make sure to use only one piece of equipment at a time. So don't hog a bench and a cable at the same time. Take one or the other. No one likes it when you have claimed two pieces of equipment. And also, side note, you should maybe also clean your equipment after you've used it. so that the hygiene keeps safe. On to the main muscle groups, and we'll begin with the arm muscles. To begin with, we'll talk about the forearm. And the forearm exercises include wrist curls and hammer curls. This right here is a wrist curl. You basically just move your wrist, and this is a picture of a forearm, obviously. Biceps, you can do cable curls, preacher curls, just any kind of curl, and it's the muscle which you can probably see the most development in the first couple of weeks. It's also what everyone flexes when they put their arms like 90 degrees up from their shoulders. And then you have the tricep. The tricep is kind of on the back behind the bicep, and you can train them by doing tricep push downs and overhead tricep extensions, single hand tricep push downs, a lot of stuff. Moving on, we have the upper body muscles, and that includes the shoulder, chest, and back. Now the shoulder, you can train using shoulder press, lateral raises, and rear delt rows. Even though rear delt rows also sort of fall into the back category in a weird way, but I would count it as a shoulder exercise. And then we got chest, and obviously you got the bench press, incline bench press, chest press, anything that you kind of move your hands out in front of you, pushing away from you in front of you, will be chest. Then after that we got the back, and the back includes a lot of muscles. It includes the lats and the muscle here, I forgot what it's called, but the one that everyone calls useless. But anyway, you can do deadlifts, lateral pull downs, rows, and pull-ups to train your back. And then we have the lower body muscles, and the lower body muscles include the abs, hamstring, glutes, calves, and quads. So to train abs, you do something like this. You can do sit-ups, crunchies, leg raises. You got the hamstrings, where you do this kind of leg curl, or you can do Romanian deadlifts, for example. To train the glutes, you can do hip thrusts and step ups. To train the calves, you can train using the seated or standing calf raises. And the calves, one note is that they're a lot more genetic than other muscles, so you might not see too much development in the calves. And then you got quad, and quad exercises include squats and leg press. I'm gonna note real quick that the squat basically does all of these muscles. It's such an encompassing movement. It's a compound movement for a reason. It targets so many muscles. And of course, there are many more exercises for each of these muscles. Those were just some mentioned, some of the most popular ones. Now that begs the question, how should you split this up into a week? And funny enough, it's called split. I'm going to show you two basic splits. PPL, which stands for push-pull legs, and you can see here push day, which is basically tricep and chest. And you got pull day, which is back and bicep. Also for push day you have shoulders too, I forgot. And then for leg day you have everything else, that's lower body basically. And then an upper lower is an upper day is basically push and pull in one day, and then you have lower, which is leg day. And then of course it's important to have rest days. Your body needs time to rebuild the used up muscles. So if I were you, I would have 1, maybe 2 rest days in a week, and you can do that whenever you want. But if you look online enough, you can find a good split that suits you. And just remember to have rest days. Now then, how many reps and sets should you be aiming for? Depending on what you're aiming for, you can change the amount of reps. However, the sets should be between 2 to 5 sets. And then there's different, it's called a rep range. And you have 1 to 6 reps, which is for strength, where you do high weight. 7 to 12 reps for hypertrophy, where you do medium heavy, medium light weights. And then you have 15 to 12 reps where you use light weights, and that's for building muscle mass. And then for condition training, or in brackets endurance, you do 16 plus reps. Obviously a very, very light weight too. But do keep in mind that this is individual per person, and that this rep range is just a generalization, and you might have a different rep range. It's different for everyone. Anyway, speaking of conditioning, cardio is very, very important, and depending on what you are trying to achieve, cardio can be a very useful tool. All the extremely cringe TikTok addicted dry scoop taking kids always say that cardio kills gains. This is not true, and anyway, having good cardio is important for maintaining health, losing weight, and improving endurance. I would at least have 1 day a week where I do cardio. However, this doesn't have to be at the gym. You can do it outside, take a nice jog, or you can do a hike. And if you don't want to do it once a week, then you can do it at the end of a workout for like 15 minutes, and that's better than nothing. The last subject I'm going to touch upon are supplements. And supplements are not something you have to take when you're a beginner, because when you're a beginner, you have something called newbie gains. And newbie gains is basically when your body is so not used to lifting heavy weights that it kind of gets shocked every time you lift heavy weights, so it has to repair those muscles really quickly. So you build a lot of muscle mass really quickly in your first few months at the gym. After you've been done with the newbie gains, after you can tell, because your muscle mass and your strength decreases. They don't decrease, but the amount you make per gym session decreases. You will be able to tell when you're done with your newbie gains. And then when you're done with your newbie gains, you can start looking at creatine monohydrate, BCAA, and protein powder, because these are all like really good for building muscle. And you should research all of these individually, of course. Just don't just take my advice for it. And then when it comes to diets, you should be eating healthy foods, eating lots of proteins, especially to help with the muscle recovery. And you should be drinking a lot of water. Water is important. Anyway, that was it for this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video was useful. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you'll know when I upload next time. Anyway, remember to finish when you're done, not when you're tired. Peace.